Ladies and gentlemen, can I please get a round of applause for Mr. Omoyele Sowore?
Thank you.
AAC, take it back.
Amanda! I wait to. Amanda!
I wait to.
Amanda!
I wait to.
Amanda, I wait to.
I wait to.
Oh, say! He said say.
Say.
Oh, say!
Say.
Thank you so much for that passionate chance. Thank you. Am I good now? Or you need to finish it on? All right. Thank you very much for inviting me to the African Student Association here. This was told to me very late in the plan of my event here in Indianapolis. So if I sound a little bit tired because I've been traveling for days. Just came to the US from Nigeria 3 days ago, and since then been on the road. And I'm trying to be as concise and as direct as possible so that we can go to our next event. I am not only one of you in terms of having been a student in the US as well. A few years ago, I attended Columbia University in New York between 2001 and 2003. And several years later, I became a professor of post-colonial African history at the School of Visual Arts in New York, and also another college that used to be Brooklyn Polytechnic, known as the City University of New York now. So my job is very simple. It is to let you know that just like every one of you in this room who was one time or the other tired of the situation of the African continent, the people of Nigeria, particularly young people like you, are tired of the leadership in Nigeria. And we have decided, without any formal meeting, that we will no longer continue to deal with and cope with very incompetent leaderships in Nigeria, very tired and sick leadership in Nigeria, and by extension, when South Africa had the problem of apartheid, Nigeria played the big brother role to end apartheid. But Nigeria has not been able to internalize that ability to help liberate other people or other brothers on the continent of Africa, because Nigeria has become the center of oppression of its own people and by extension black people. And Nigeria, I'm sorry to say, has become a disgrace on the continent, to the continent of Africa. And we want to end that disgrace very quickly. I usually describe Africa, the continent of Africa, which we have set this up. If you see the map of Africa, it's like a pistol facing down. Yes, it's like a gun loaded pistol facing down. And if you look at the map very well, the part that has Nigeria is like the trigger of that pistol. And until Nigeria gets it right, there's no question about it, Africa will not get it right.
That's right.
Yes, you have seen South Africa doing very well, but even an average South African will say to you that when looking up to Nigeria, you probably have heard Julius Malema, who's a very famous young person in South Africa, always talking about Africa and about Nigeria as if he wished he was born in Nigeria. And he talks glowingly about the Nigerian spirit and how Nigerians are not people that can easily be subjugated and oppressed. But when Malema is talking about Nigeria in those glowing terms, you're asking yourself if it's the same Nigeria that you come from. Because our people are very easy to oppress. In fact, Nigerians are the easiest people to oppress on the surface of the earth. Such that you are wondering, why is it that you have 100 and something million people, strong, innovative, very creative people, sometimes very loud, and yet, when it comes to resisting oppression, you don't have that same, innovation that they have shown, creativity they have shown elsewhere in the world. The reason is that whatever it is, whatever it is, something is wrong with the Nigerian space. Something is wrong with Nigerian air that we breathe. Because the moment a Nigerian person gets out of Nigeria, they become some of the best human beings in the world. The Nigerian doctor comes out of Nigeria, he becomes the best surgeon. Nigerian computer scientist gets out of Nigeria, he can create anything. Even a Nigerian petty criminal, the moment he gets out of the war, he becomes one of the best at crime. But when it comes to staying inside of Nigeria and making Nigeria great, Nigeria has failed miserably in that direction. But I'm not here to bore you with how bad things are in Nigeria. I'm here to energize you as much as I can, to say to you that it is not just about Nigeria. Young people out here, especially those of you who are going to college out here, we can make a difference. And we can make a difference not by physically being in Nigeria, but by doing it wherever we might find ourselves. And I use myself as an example with due humility. I came to the US in 1999, and I've spent 19 years in the US. By next year, it will be 20 years I spent in the US. I spent some of that time divided between going to school, first working as a security guard, and then going to school and obtaining my master's degree, and then creating a platform known as Sahara Reporters, that became really, really popular and helped to redefine how the media conducted its business in Nigeria. And it eventually even expanded to other African countries. We were part and parcel through Sahara Reporters, the fight against Mugabe in Zimbabwe. We were part of the fight against Yahya Jammeh in Gambia. And some cases we intervened in Liberia when that World Bank president of yours was misbehaving. We put her on her toes. And we've done several other things, but it got to a point where I convinced myself that, even the best media companies in the world may not be able to change the behavior of leaders. But if we can take it to the next level of stepping into the ring and wrestling Nigeria away from the very terrible cabal, political cabal that is destroying the country, Nigeria will have a fresh lease of life. Nigeria will become a country that can construct its roads. Nigeria will become a country that has electricity. Nigeria will become a country that's safe for its people. A country that can provide college education, for its young people, provide employment for millions of people. Nigeria will be able to do that. The reason is simple. Nigeria has got the resources, all what it needs to make Nigerians be happy people. Sad thing is that regardless of how terribly Nigerians are treated, they are some of the happiest people in the world. Yes, this is the truth. This was what scientists have been telling us. But we found out the reason recently. It is because in our gene, we have cannabis. For real. It's called the feel-good gene. This is not, I didn't make this up. This is something found in our gene. Because regardless, so we suffer, we're happy, regardless. Because there's that gene that just makes you wake up and optimistic about the future. But what I'm just saying basically is, because we don't have time, is that we can make this happen. As young people, I presented myself as an aspirant and very soon aspiring to become a candidate for a new political party in Nigeria known as the African Action Congress. There are two other big political parties in Nigeria. One of them is known as the People's Democratic Party, ran Nigeria down for 60 years. And 3 years ago, another big political party known as the APC, All Progressive Congress, came and took over. It's like we are destined for abuse. Nigerians are like people that have this bad husbands, and he divorced one, and he got the worst husband, and the abuse just continued. But we must end that cycle of abuse by retiring all the old, ragged, corrupt, I would say, use the word useless leaders that have been running Nigeria for the last 58 years. Because by next year, Nigeria would have been 59 years old, as a nation. And we can't find any country in the world that has access to the same level of resource, natural resource, human resource like Nigeria, that is in the same terrible condition that Nigeria is. What I'm telling you is that there's no excuse for the socio-political condition that Nigeria is in today. In fact, somebody told me that they went to Liberia. I saw it on Facebook. Some guy traveled to Liberia and was saying that I wish Nigeria can be as safe as Liberia, because I traveled to the airport at, I think, 12 midnight, and the roads are free and everywhere is safe. I'm saying, is that the same Liberia that was at war some 10 years ago, right? Yes. That means that you guys are starting to even do better than Nigeria, sadly. So this is where we end my rant, today. When I say it's a rant, is because every time you meet two Nigerians, they're discussing about the socio-political situation in Nigeria, and we rant about it, we cry about it, and then we listen to Wizkid and we're happy, and then we listen to the video and we forget our problems, and then we listen to all these young, creative entertainers and we forget our problem. But the problem is not going to get away or go away until we all join hands. And the reason I decided to come here today is to just say, hey, you can be part of it. When Nigeria wanted to have independence, the movement that brought about independence to Nigeria happened in the UK, led by Nigerian students in the UK. So Nigeria is calling upon you again, young people, to intervene to make Nigeria great for the first time. Nigeria, in my view, has never been a great country. I'm honest enough to admit it. I didn't meet a great Nigerian. I'm 47 years old. Never seen a Nigeria that was great. Never seen a Nigeria that had electricity uninterrupted for 24 hours. Never seen a Nigeria where you could drive for 30 kilometers without bumping into a heavy crater. We don't call it, it could be a borehole in the middle of the highway. Never seen a Nigeria where you go to the hospital and you're waiting in the emergency and you're properly treated by the doctor. Never seen a Nigeria where a teacher taught you for an unbroken period of time and got his salary paid and you got a good grades, not because you had something to offer to the teacher, either in form of a yam or your body. Whichever way it is done, it's not been a great country. So we have to build Nigeria from the scratch. That's the truth. But are we able to do it? Yes. Do we know how to do it? Of course. There's too many Nigerians out there who know how to build a nation that works. But Nigeria somehow has been rewarding those who fail Nigeria with socio-political promotion. And that's what has to stop. So I'll stop here. If you have questions, just make it as brief as possible. In less than 15 minutes, we have to join another group. That's the original group we came here for. But don't let me leave without thanking you for taking our time to come see us. I know it's a very, very small, but small focus group here. And we hope that we can have a very interactive moment and have discussion and engagement that you will never forget, and I will never forget too. It's not all the time that have a huge crowd that makes a difference. Sometimes it could just be a very small, committed, unique group of people who can connect because we're close, to have the discussion, memorable discussions that will lead into a greater future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'd just like to say thank you again for the speech you gave. And here at the ASA, we came up with some of our own questions that you've seen us prepare beforehand. I just talk without this because it's keeping one in the house. So let's see. Okay, first question. In Africa, we lose a lot of our talents to Western world countries as they leave in search for greener pastures. What are your plans on making pastures in Africa greener?
Yes. The good news is that Africa is the home of green and green pastures. If you look at societies around the world, there's no place that has experienced civilization, development, growth, and prosperity that didn't have a dint of Africans helping them to build a society. They're building societies on the back of African resources and African peoples. We were in Badagry 2 weeks ago in Lagos and found out that over 400 years, about 43 million Africans were sold into slavery. And these are the people who built the Western world. Even in Egypt, where they're talking about civilization, I traveled to Egypt in 2004 or 5, thereabout. And when you visit all of those great things they talk about in civilization in Egypt, they will always point to you, the people who built it is across the place. Who are they? Africans, black Africans, Most likely Nigerians. Most likely Nigerians. If you go to Europe, built on the back of our resources, gold, copper, slaves, right? You go to the US, everywhere you turn, there's a slave plantation made up of black people. So we built it. So we are the owners and the place for grain. And to make it green, we just need to go back home and innovate, produce, and create a future. You don't even need, this interesting thing about it, this is real. This is not spiritual. You don't even need to make any effort to make Africa green. You know, if you spit on the floor, it could grow in some African places. All you just need are people who understand, who are passionate, loving their people enough to create societies that where things work. I imagine it will just take a few things, you know, electricity, security, you know, proper education for our people, health, you know, tourism. Everybody would love to go back to Nigeria or Africa. You know, there's no time, by the way, that I travel to the continent of Africa. Even inside the plane, when you look at the map, the moment the plane touches up on the car, where I travel through most of the time, you can feel the difference, you know. You can feel the difference, that warmth of the African continent, you know, coming from the sunshine. If you lift your window up, just know that this is somewhere, whoever walked on this continent walked over time to build it. But it is the reason why Africa is the target of every plunderer, you know, in the world. Europeans came, Americans came, the Chinese are all over the place now. Portuguese, Japanese, everybody's on the continent looking for something to steal, you know, takeaways. Africa is like, you know, a hotel. You know, they came, they took the pillow, you know, they took the bed sheet, and one day they're like, why are we wasting our time? They came out and raided the bed, nothing is left in the place. So we need to start replacing everything, and Africa will be green again. Africa is already green, it needs only to be manicured.
Alright, so Muammar Gaddafi was a Libyan president who strived for a united Africa, but was labeled as a greedy president. He was eventually taken down by rebels with the assistance of Western powers. So how would you go about taking Nigeria to higher heights while keeping good relationships with Western powers?
What I'll say to this is that Africa needs to change its leadership to the A-team. The Western world are looking for an Africa where there are mediocre people in leadership. And when you have mediocre people in leadership, they're not relating with you, they're just throwing whatever they can at you. Ask yourself, why is it that people of Ivory Coast who make the best cocoa in the world don't know about chocolate? Some of them never tasted it before. Ask yourself, why is it that the people of Nigeria who make oil need to go and refine the oil and then import it back at a higher price? Doesn't make sense, doesn't even make any logical sense. But the moment you have the right kind of leadership in places like Nigeria, even the Western world, and by the way, the Western world is not a special name for anything superb. The Western world is in this room. Some of the guys who are going to be IMF leaders tomorrow are in your classroom today. Some of them, you are helping them to do their assignment. But because of opportunities that are awaiting them, when you graduate from here and the way your leaders are treating you, you are heading to Costco for your first job, but they're heading to Shell for their first job, where they have better opportunities than you are. They're heading to the World Bank and IMF to come and dictate economic policies to you, whereas you are headed into some kind of oblivion. And that is what needs to change, is to change again once and for all. The leadership in Nigeria needs to change and relate with the Western world, and for the Western world to relate with our leaders with absolute respect. I mean absolute respect. You don't have respectable leaders, you want people to respect you, you're wasting your time. You don't have respectable economists, you're looking for Western respect, you're wasting your time. You don't have respectable schools, hospitals, colleges that can produce the kind of people that can hold their own against others, you're wasting your time. And that is what needs to happen immediately. Like I said, this used to be what Africa started with. You know, Ghana used to have great universities, Tanzania used to have great universities, Egypt, you know, had great civilization. But right now, you can't even boast, there's no African university probably that makes up one of the 1,000 universities in the world. because of the kind of poor, derelict leadership you have on the continent. Again, the solution is leadership, leadership, leadership.
This is a question. All right, in Africa, it's a big problem for the rich and their families to get away with certain privileges and have certain opportunities, and then those with lower incomes. So what are your thoughts on justice, inequality, and how do you plan to deal with those issues?
It has to be economic first, economic. Africa has some of the worst paid, workers in the world. And when people get paid peanuts, they have no dignity. So it is like it's deliberate inequality. Some of it is also driven by, of course, Western economic models that don't work, like the structural adjustment program, where they specifically target public institutions or public support or welfareist conditions for our people. And the moment you take education away from the poor, you are creating an ignorant society. And when you create societies like that, people will never even get educated enough to get jobs. And before you know it, you're advertising to Nigerians visa lotteries. And what is visa lotteries? It's cheap labor, probably even intentional servitude in another name. And when they come over here, because they have not had the kind of education that they should have, you come and use them as slaves, use them as food stools and food soldiers to build your economy once or all over again. So what I'm trying to say is that to create equality on the continent, we have to give economic empowerment to our people. And that's part of what our party has been talking about. That, for example, in Nigeria, the minimum wage is 18,000 naira. 18,000 naira is how many dollars is that? 18,000 naira.
It's 30-something dollars.
Yeah, $30. There's nobody who can live on $30 per month. But that's how, and the Nigerian government is proud to say that that's our minimum wage. And when we are coming in, we're saying that we'll increase that immediately to $300. How do you cost inflation? How do you use inflation to gauge human dignity? You understand? We don't see it that way. We see it as purchasing power for Africans, because when Shell, Chevron, and all these companies send experts to Nigeria, their starting salary is $50,000 minimum. How do you expect a Nigerian to compete with someone who is working at Chevron, who is earning $50,000 per annum, and he's earning, $3,000 per annum? How can you have the kind of self-respect to even look a person like that in the face and challenge them? How can you not think that they're God? So these are areas where we will address completely, is that there has to be that economic empowerment of the African person. The African resource must go to Africans first and foremost before they go somewhere else, and those are the kind of resources that will build our bridges, roads, rail lines, that give us universities that are top rated, and that can train our manpower to be able to compete globally. Right now, we can't compete anywhere. That's the truth. Even when you get the best education in the West, you are still at the mercy of that 1 year paper looking for a job, after you're done with American. And you have to, whether you like it or not, demean yourself in some dehumanizing condition to even get a 1 year extension that you get after you go to school. That's for those of you who are lucky. For the rest of our people at home, no jobs. No jobs. I know of my classmates that I graduated some 20-something years ago from the University of it, who have never had a job before. They live on handouts from their friends, Western Union here today, MoneyGram there tomorrow, World Remit. That shouldn't be life. People should have that access to public resource of the Commonwealth and their various countries, such that while they're still here with us, they have something to hold on to, and it's a lot more than interesting. Again, I wish we had more time to debate this. I have complete knowledge of how these things should work because I have done a lot of time teaching for 8 years post-colonial Africa history. I know where things went wrong and how things are still going wrong. And that's like what you said about Gaddafi, it's true. It's true to some extent. It's also, true to some extent. I have a problem with the Gaddafi who spent 42 years in power and didn't think about how to hand over power to someone else. I mean, power cannot belong to one family forever. So when you make those kind of fundamental mistakes, You know, they don't care about you. They will use that as an excuse. But Gaddafi wasn't killed because they've been powerful too much. You know, Western interests. People are asking for democracy.
All right, so trust is a big deal for someone in a position of power. So how do you decide on who to trust, and how does someone go about getting your trust?
I think there are ways to measure those things. I think the starting point is to find people who share your ideology about progress, prosperity, and growth. And it's also to find people who have been tested, who can resist, because who can resist temptations. There's a lot of temptations involved in the thing we do. And challenging these money bags in Nigeria is a particular reason why it's difficult to find people to trust sometimes. Because they will throw money at some people. Some people have never seen money before. They follow you up to a point and they show them money. Just show them money, they'll betray you in a second. But part of it is also just personal conviction. And that sometimes one person may not be able to do it alone, but it can motivate and inspire multitudes of people. And that's, for me, where my trust quotient lies, is how many people, my ideas, my commitment, my focus, and my convictions can motivate to the barricades, to such an extent that they are willing to risk it all. Because we are at that stage in Nigeria where we have to risk everything we have to take Nigeria in a different direction. Looking for how to trust people in a traditional way, either by making them sign a non-disclosure statement or swearing to an oath, or entering into some covenant will not help you. It's not going to help anybody, but what we're doing, which is public and transparent, can also engender a lot of trust. Now, we've seen it happen. In 7 months, started a movement that is popular across Nigeria and the diaspora. In less than 2 months, starting a political party that is the fastest growing in Nigeria shows that there is trust, and I want to keep that. Yes.
And briefly,
yes.
We know you short on time, so last question. Africa has been suffering a massive brain drain, and as you eloquently said before, Nigerians, as you said, they'll go out and become the best doctors, the best lawyers, the best politicians. Briefly, let's say hypothetically, right now you're president of Nigeria.
Yes.
What would be your, let's say, your pitch to convince young Nigerian youth and Africans in the diaspora on returning back to the continent to help better it?
I'm going to do it the Indian way. I give you an option to weigh between living in America and this. You all know it. It's like no matter how great it is here, no matter how long, over time you're going to be part of the statistics. You become tired, you hate cold weather, become depressed. One day maybe you get abandoned in an old people's home because America is done with you. Yes, that's the truth. But if you create a country where people can have, people have to have choices. You have to be able to choose between, do I want to continue to live in America? I'm depressed for 6 months because it's too cold in Indianapolis. It's really cold around here. Or do I want to live in Nigeria where you're like happy because it's always warm? And I'm happier when it's warm. I don't know about you guys. So I like warmth. But at the same time, that warm side of the world must have roads, hospitals. It must be able to protect your security. It must be able to give you, the kind of education that you think your children need. For those of you who are going to become family people, provide you jobs that can pay you wages that are dignified. And the moment those options are available, which I'm going to create, there's options that want to do. You can choose to be here for as long as you want and let every good or bad thing happen to you. You can go back home and live happily ever after. I think, Africa is heaven, if only we can make it so.
That's everything. On behalf of IUPU, we'd like to thank you again, once again, for all the best of luck on your endeavors in 2019, and hopefully you can come back again as president of Nigeria.
I will come back, and I'm sure that this hall will be filled up next time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Omoyele Sowore, please, round of applause one more time, ladies and gentlemen.
right, let us get a picture, everybody, picture.
Picture and then we can run.
President
Yes.
Kennedy, picture. I'm gonna switch to the
I want to get the picture.
Hold this up.
I want to be in one picture.
Yes.
Just give me a second.
The pictures and then we can end the broadcast. We have to run now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. President.
Thank you.
You'll be president of Liberia one day soon.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
And we have food in the back, by the way, for those who want to grab something to eat.
We got food here. We got food. We have a food for everybody.
You have some food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food is there. We got food, everybody. Just not here.
What is it? Like, I don't know.
Chicken set. My
Send the flyer out. Just send the flyer out.
Don't send me, I'm not coming.
Are we going to do it?
I don't know what to eat here.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.